Welcome to the Clique podcast. I'm Dani, a mindset and manifestation expert and founder of the Clique, a company that helps women overcome their fears and limiting beliefs to create a life and business that they love. Within this podcast, I will help you get clear on what you want, identify the blocks that are holding you back, transform your mindset and raise your vibration so that you can co-create magic with the universe. If you are looking to design a life that truly sets your soul on fire and manifest more success and abundance, then you are in the right place. Hello ladies, and welcome to a brand new week and a brand new podcast episode. I have just come off the back of a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Probably one of the best weekends I've had in a while. And it wasn't because anything big or exciting or eventful happened. It was just one of those weekends where just everything seemed to run really smoothly. And it was just quite calm and quite relaxed, which if anyone's got small children, especially, toddlers and babies, to get a weekend where everything just runs really smoothly is actually quite rare. But yeah, it was a pretty calm weekend. On Saturday, we took my daughter horse riding. We had this really nice walk along the beach. This weather at the moment where we live in Spain is the perfect temperature. So it's been really, really sunny, but the temperature has dropped a little bit from the peak of summer. So we can be out during the day and it doesn't feel too hot. It's literally the perfect temperature. So yeah, we went horse riding and then we went to this beautiful beach club on Saturday afternoon. It's a sort of Mexican-inspired beach club. It's called Playa Padre. So we had an amazing lunch there, and the children were just remarkably very, very chilled, which never seems to happen. Whenever we take them out for something to eat, it is honestly, they just go wild. They're like jumping on the tables, like not sitting down, but they were so calm. They were sat in the sand, playing with all of their toys in the sand whilst we ate. And we met up with some friends as well. So that was really, really lovely. And then on Sunday, we went to a friend's house. They live in the Campo, so sort of a 20-minute drive into the countryside, this beautiful house surrounded by lots of fruit trees. We had a beautiful lunch there. So yeah, it was just a really chilled, relaxing weekend. And yeah, I'm now feeling very, very, relaxed. So today's episode though, I want to talk into this idea of being happy now versus being happier later. This idea of delayed gratification. Now, the reason why I talk about this is because I am a huge advocate in deriving as much pleasure as life as we can as possible, and really allowing ourselves to be happy now rather than constantly saying, I'll be happy later when I have a certain thing. Now, I am absolutely a huge advocate of that. The idea that we have to really be grateful in the moment that we have now and be as happy as possible with what we have right now in order to manifest more. Okay, really being in this abundant mindset in order to manifest more abundance. But what I'm talking about today is slightly different. And it's this idea that often we have to it's not about putting our desires on hold, but it's about putting that gratification on hold right now so that we can have something even better in the future. So a great example of this is really about stepping into your zone of discomfort right now so that you can have a way more comfortable life later on. So it might be, doing the things that you feel uncomfortable about in the present moment and perhaps not feeling so great in the present moment so that your life can get significantly better and way more comfortable in the future. So it might be that right now, let's say you're in the new stages of building a business. So it might require you to make certain sacrifices, so giving up binge watching Netflix, giving up going out at the weekend, and socializing all the time, sacrificing your time right now so that you can have a better life in your future. Or the other is perhaps when it comes to money. How to create a more abundant future for yourself might mean saying no to things financially right now. So this is a really good example of something that I've been going through over the past few years, and perhaps I'm still going through right now. Going back to what I said earlier, I'm a huge advocate of this idea, we want to live our most abundant lives possible so that we can create more abundance. If we live in that place of scarcity and lack, we're just going to create more lack. And this I 100% believe to be true. However, there's going to be times when perhaps I will consciously choose to say no to things because I want a better financial future for myself. So it's rather than feeling the most abundant right now, it's knowing that I can be way more abundant later. So a good example of this is maybe just things that I'm choosing to spend or perhaps to not spend my money on right now because I'm putting that into other things that will make me more abundant later. So a good example is purchasing my homes. So present moment in time, I have a home in the UK, and more recently I purchased a home in Spain. I am somebody that really, my financial goals often derive a lot around buying properties. That is my thing. And obviously that is a pretty kind of big financial goal to set for yourself, to buy yourself a property. But there's often times when I'm, choosing to whether or not to invest in something or to spend money on something. So it might be, flying first class or even business class, or it might be, choosing to splash out on, when, for example, when we're choosing to purchase what car we buy. Okay, now rather than thinking, okay, well, what is available to us right now? What would our finances allow us to do right now? Our finances might say to us, yes, you could, if you wanted to, you could fly first class. You could buy, a 200,000 euro car of your dreams. However, would we want to be feeling that abundance right now or have a greater abundance later on? So it might be that we choose to put certain, choices on hold because that money is going to be going into something that will make us feel way more abundant later down the line. So when I was saving up for both of my properties in the UK and here, there was a lot of things that I said no to that would have in that moment made me feel really abundant. Okay, so when we were traveling, most of the time we were traveling and we were flying in economy, or we were spending money on accommodation, beautiful hotels, but perhaps wasn't necessarily the most expensive hotel or the best hotel, because I knew that I could make choices for myself that would make me feel or even be more abundant later down the line. So it's this idea of delayed gratification, delaying that instant hit of, okay, this is going to make me feel really, really good right now so that you can feel even better further on. Okay, and this delayed gratification is going to be the thing that dictates whether you stay in the game or whether you quit on your dreams. And the reason I say this is because this delayed gratification, it's not always related to, having the money right now or having the designer handbag right now. It can often be with the day-to-day smaller things, such as just feeling comfortable or having that instant hit of dopamine when you give yourself something or when you maybe buy yourself something. So let's say, for example, a good example would be, let's say you've been working a long day at work, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I would love to start a new business, but I'm getting home from work and I'm tired. The instant gratification to feel good right now would be to say to yourself, I'm going to pour myself a big glass of wine and I'm going to sit in front of Netflix and I'm going to binge watch on my TV show. You'd get that feel good now factor, okay? You're doing the thing that's going to make you feel comfortable right now. But what if you changed that to say, okay, what is it that I can do right now which will make me feel more comfortable later, so that perhaps I don't actually have to go to that job. So rather than pouring yourself a glass of wine and binging watching on Netflix, you instead lean into the discomfort and say, okay, even though I am tired, even though I've had a long day, I'm going to sit in front of my laptop for an hour and focus on my business, focus on, building my dream, focus on building my future where, I will be able to be much happier, more content, more fulfilled. Okay, so it's giving up what you want right now and putting that aside to one moment so that you can have something far bigger and better in your future. Now, a big part of being able to do this and to kind of catch yourself in the moment and say to yourself, okay, could I sacrifice this right now for a better future for myself? Being able to do this requires you to be really intentional and conscious about the decisions that you are making. Because most of the time when we make a decision and that is that instant gratification decision, it's almost like a reflex response. We don't necessarily think about it, okay? We just find ourselves doing it, okay? Or maybe it's a very quick snapshot decision. So for example, let's say, take the example of coming home from work and having a glass of wine and just sitting in front of the TV. Did you, in the morning of that day, make a decision to yourself, you know what, I'm going to come home today, at the end of my day today, and I'm going to binge watch TV and drink a glass of wine? Chances are you didn't. You perhaps even thought the opposite of that decision. Maybe in the morning you woke up energized, motivated, and told yourself, I'm going to come home today and I'm going to work on my business. Or, I'm going to come home and I'm going to work out, or I'm going to cook myself a really healthy meal. Maybe you had really good intentions at the beginning of the day, but by the end of the day, you were actually, telling yourself the opposite. You were doing the opposite, falling back on that commitment that you made to yourself. And there's lots of reasons why we do this, especially when, we get to the end of the day and we are tired. We've already made lots of decisions during the day. In that moment, when we're tired, we have this decision fatigue because we've, been using our brains the whole day to make lots and lots of decisions. In that moment, we often just choose the easiest decision to make. We choose the decision that's going to make us feel the best. We crave that instant gratification, that dopamine hit, that feel-good factor. But knowing this, you can start to be aware of what is driving your decisions. Are you just making a decision by default, or in that moment, are you consciously and purposefully choosing to do or to not do something? So when you sit down in the evening, are you saying to yourself, I am choosing to have this glass of wine. I am choosing to binge on Netflix. Or are you just kind of going through the motions? Because when you approach the thing that you're doing, having the glass of wine, binge watching Netflix, from a place of purpose and conscious decision making, you may in that moment realize that actually this isn't something I want to be doing now. I would rather sacrifice this right now and, work on my business so that I can have greater satisfaction later down the line. But if you do choose to drink the wine, to binge watch on the Netflix, allow yourself to do it consciously and tell yourself why you are doing this. Give yourself an explanation. Don't just say, I'm going to do this just because. I'm choosing to do this right now because I'm feeling lazy, I'm feeling unmotivated, I'm feeling tired. And that's okay to feel all of those things, but bring that awareness to your decision-making process. Now, when I've kind of spoken about this topic before, one question that I get asked in relation to the law of attraction is, well, how does this coincide with the idea that in order to have more abundance, we must feel abundant now? In order to create more happiness in our lives, we must feel happy now. Now, this is on the assumption that doing the things that are uncomfortable or depriving yourself or making sacrifices is always going to be a solely negative experience. I can't have the wine, I'm going to feel sad because of that. Or, I'm having to sacrifice time out with friends, and I'm getting FOMO. Yes, there is going to be some sort of negative side to giving up the things that give you that instant gratification. But there's also going to be lots of positives out of that as well that we often overlook. So, for example, let's say you come home from work and you do choose to not have the wine and actually just sit in your laptop and do the work. Yes, maybe you are tired. Yes, maybe you've had a long day. But guess what's going to happen? You're going to sit down, and even just 5 minutes of doing the work is going to start making you feel better because you're working towards something, you're progressing. Even though you're tired, you have chosen to choose your dreams. So you're saying yes to your future rather than saying yes to where you are by doing the things that you've always done. Okay? And just let's say you keep going and you work for another 5 minutes, or you spend an hour working on your business. How do you think you're going to feel at the end of that? I'm sure you've all had that experience where you have been at the start of an exercise class and you're thinking, I'm dreading this. Or maybe it's just the even thought of going to the gym or going out and putting your trainers on and going for the run. Before you do it, the thought of doing it can often fill you with dread. Like, I don't want to do this. Feels like the most uncomfortable thing for me to be doing right now. But how do you feel at the end of that session? You feel amazing, right? You feel like, yes, I've done it. I've achieved something. I've made progress. So something that initially might seem like a negative experience could be the thing that actually leads you to greater joy, greater fulfillment. Okay, so sacrifice in favor of, giving up sort of that delayed gratification, sacrificing what we want now for our futures doesn't always need to be this negative thing. Now, a good question to ask yourself before you do or don't do anything is, how is this supporting the higher version of me? How is this helping me get to where I want to be in life? Is this supporting my dreams, or is this just not serving me? Is this helping me become the woman I want to be? And is this helping me create the life that I want to live? And if the answer is no, what could I be doing as an alternative? So if you lead with that question, you will find yourself making better choices for yourself because you are more conscious about the choices you are making rather than just doing them by default. And if you choose the instant gratification, if you are conscious with your decisions and you get to the end of the day and you say, you know what, it's fine. Today I'm going to choose the wine and the Netflix. That's okay. Just as long as you are aware of why you are making that decision and you vocalize that openly to yourself. So again, there's consciousness behind it. Today I'm choosing to have the wine because I just feel like being lazy and zoning out, and that's okay. And there will be days when it will be okay. But you'll find that as soon as you bring more awareness to your decisions, you will find yourself wanting to make better decisions for yourself. And it's a good idea to ask yourself, how will delaying this gratification now serve me in my future? By saying no to certain things right now, how is that going to benefit my future? How is that going to help me move towards my dreams? So you've got this clear reason why you're delaying that gratification. Okay, you're not just doing it to be mean to yourself. You're doing it because it serves your higher purpose. And then we're just reminding you why that future is so important to you. So this might look like, okay, I'm saying no to zoning out in the front of the TV tonight because that is not serving me and my future. I'm going to get to where I want to be a lot quicker by saying no to, feeling comfortable right now. And that future is so important to me because, I want to be out of my job. I want to be doing work that fulfills me. Remind yourself in the moments when you need it the most, the reasons why that future is so important to you. Okay? When you reconnect with your why, when you reconnect with that dream life that you're creating with yourself, that gives you that shot of dopamine that you are craving. If you think about it, the reason why we want the wine or want the TV is because it gives us that hit of dopamine, right? It makes us feel good in that moment. Or the reason why we start, doing the online shopping or whatever it is that we choose to zone out on it, because it gives us that feel good factor right now. But you can get that in another way that is going to serve you. Thinking about your future. Think about how exciting it is when you visualize that future version of you, when you visualize your dream life. That's going to make you feel good. And then from that place of feeling good, then you take action, okay? Then you decide, okay, what am I going to do with my time tonight? From that place of feeling good. Because I promise you, when you make decisions from that place of feeling tired, lethargic, unmotivated, chances are you're always going to make the wrong decisions, the decisions that don't necessarily serve you. So if you take a few moments to raise your vibration by thinking about that dream life and then decide, okay, how am I going to spend my time this evening? I promise you, you will probably choose a better decision for yourself. Okay, so give these things a go, ladies. Let me know how they work out for you. And as always, come and say hello on Instagram, Dani_Watson_coaching. I will catch you in the next episode. Bye, ladies. If you are wanting to build your own successful online coaching business, make sure to check out Freedom, Abundance and Impact, our free 10-day business and mindset course for coaches and aspiring coaches. To access, simply head to wearetheclique.com and click free course in the menu.